All right. Billionaire Patrick Soon-Shiong reaches deal to buy LA Times and the San Diego Tribune. Interesting. Okay, this is my first time hearing about this. But apparently the LA Times and San Diego Tribune have been sold. Who have they been sold to? Biotech billionaire Patrick Soon-Shiong has agreed to purchase the LA Times from its parent company, Trunk, restoring local ownerships and perhaps ending a turbulent period for the storied 136-year-old institution. Chicago-based Trunk on Wednesday announced the sale of the Times and the San Diego Union Tribune to Soon-Shiong's investment firm Nant Capital for nearly $500 million in cash. In addition to the purchase price, the deal includes the assumption of $90 million in pension liabilities. We look forward to continuing the great tradition of award-winning journalism carried out by reporters and editors. Trunk also announced that it will form a new division called Tribune Interactive, which will be led by Los Angeles Times publisher Ross Livingston. The company said that an independent investigation into allegations of sexual harassment at previous companies found no wrongdoing. Who had been on unpaid leave by Levinson, who has been on unpaid leave since January 19th. Okay, I wasn't even familiar that had happened, actually. The sale, which is expected to close in April, comes after a particularly stormy period for the newspaper, which has seen 3 editors in 6 months as publisher placed on unpaid leave amid a sexual harassment investigation and a historic vote to unionize the newsroom. The deal came together quickly and took many observers by surprise. Soon-Shiong, one of Los Angeles' wealthiest residents and a minority owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, became the latest billionaire to throw a lifeline to a major newspaper. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post in 2016. So I know a lot more about Jeff Bezos than I do about this person. I don't know much about them. But what I can say about the Los Angeles Times is, as of recent, the Los Angeles Times, like so many newspapers, in our day and age, has become little more than just a coupon rag. You know, I mean, and the Los Angeles Times has had questionable ownership in recent years. And you kind of wonder why people with this amount of wealth buy newspapers. They're not, I would be shocked if they made their money back, if they made that investment back on this. That's not what the newspaper is worth. And this is similar to, you know, when the Telecommunications Act in '96 passed and ownership of radio stations became more lax, you would see these corporations paying money for radio stations that was more than what they were worth. They would then homogenize content and they would drive the radio station into the ground. A newspaper is a similar entity. It's meant to be a very localized medium. It's meant to be locally run and produced, and it's meant to be a sustainable venture where everyone gets a little piece of the pie and committed to the community. Most newspapers are not that anymore. We live in a different time. So you just kind of have these billionaires throwing money at these newspapers. Usually their intentions are to better themselves. Usually their intentions are for favorable coverage, and not to actually make the investment in making the newspaper sustainable, because those days are pretty much gone. So it's very safe to assume there's another motive here other than news and information. And if you have any motive other than news and information, guess what? Your paper is tragically flawed. And this goes into why a for-profit media is inherently destructive and, just by sheer definition, not healthy for any type of democratic experiment. So I guess we'll see what happens. So who is Patrick Soon-Shiong? He's an LA billionaire with big ideas and mixed achievements. After more than a decade of out-of-town ownership, the LA Times will once more be locally owned. Patrick Soon-Shiong, a doctor turned entrepreneur who was born in South Africa to Chinese parents, has reached a deal. So this guy's a doctor turned entrepreneur. He is estimated at $7.8 billion. His deep pockets could portend reinvestment at the Times. So here's his quote. "We need newspapers. We need this intellectual integrity. We need writers and editors who are passionate about this work." So what all has this guy done? In 2009, he began to put into motion a plan to streamline the nation's healthcare system by uniting doctors, hospitals, and insurers through high-speed fiber optic networks, supercomputers, and what he called a wisdom database. That same year, he pledged $100 million to St. John's Hospital. He later made the financial guarantee to help underwrite the reopening of another community hospital. Well, that's good. Last July, he announced that his Culver City company would take control of operations of 6 California hospitals. So he basically invests in medicine mostly. He bought the Times parent company amid a hostile takeover. Owning the city's largest media company would add to a business portfolio that includes a network of medical research firms that he established to, in his own words, solve cancer. Okay, so it seems like this guy mostly dabbles in medicine. It doesn't seem like he has much of a history in defense or anything like that, which that is a good thing. He does shoot hoops weekly with other colleagues, and he's part owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess we'll see. It doesn't look like at least this guy doesn't have. It doesn't seem, at least according to this one profile, and I'm not familiar with this man, with exception to this one profile. But as of right now, there are no known collaborations with weapons contractors or anything like that, unlike Jeff Bezos. So I guess that's a good thing, or it is a good thing. And I guess we'll just see what else unfolds about this guy. Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.